am 29, ambitious, and terrified. Not of becoming a mother, which is something I have always wanted, but of what becoming a mother will cost me professionally. And I am furious that that fear is so rational. That fury drove me into policy. In 2019, I sat in the House of Representatives, watching Speaker Nancy Pelosi, the first woman to ever hold that high office, swear in the most women our country had ever seen. Among them, my boss and mentor, Congresswoman Jennifer Wexton from Virginia, one of few women in our country's history to serve while raising school-age children. That moment kickstarted a career that I loved, working on policies that would change the lives of millions of people across the country, from paid leave to low-cost and high-quality childcare. And yet, even as we made meaningful progress, I saw how far we still have to go. Because for most families in the United States, the gap between what exists and what they need is still enormous. You've probably heard the statistics. For every dollar a man makes, women earn about 76 cents. Even less for many women around the country. But perhaps equally important to the size of the gap is when it opens. Early in their careers, many men and women look remarkably similar. Same education, same ambition, same trajectory. And then a moment hits when women become mothers and caregivers. That's when the gap becomes a gulf. Nobel Prize winning economist Dr. Claudia Goldin studied this pattern across decades of data, and she found something fascinating. Motherhood is an inflection point where otherwise similar careers diverge. Promotions slow, the wealth gap widens, the mental load explodes, not because of talent or dedication, because of design. Dr. Goldin calls many of our jobs greedy because they demand more and more time in return for disproportionate rewards. Work 80 hours, and in many jobs, you will earn more than two people working 40 combined. Because the rewards don't add up, they compound until the math makes the decision for your family and one parent leans in while another steps back. That design is bad for all of us, women and men included. It's bad for the father sitting in a NICU, watching his newborn fight, counting down the days of his 2 weeks of paid leave, knowing that the system that he works inside doesn't have room for him to be a thriving employee and present with his family. It's bad for the son working a full-time job caring for his aging mother, stretched thin in every direction between doctors and deadlines. It's bad for all of us because at some point, life will ask each and every one of us to be there for someone that we love. But here is what Goldin's data makes painfully clear. While greedy work costs all of us something, it costs mothers the most. Because greedy work only works when someone else is doing the caregiving. And in most families, that someone is still a woman. So when women are becoming mothers and caregivers, they're not opting out of the workforce. They're running into a system that was never built for them to stay. It punishes all of us, but it penalizes mothers first and hardest. And for many women around the country, including women of color, LGBTQ mothers, and women with disabilities, those penalties compound even further. That's the motherhood penalty. The sharpest edge of a broken design. For a long time, that felt overwhelming to me, like the inevitable cost of having children in the United States. Until I started wondering, if this is really about design, there has to be somewhere with a better blueprint. And that is how I became obsessed with pharmacists. I know it sounds random, but stay with me. For a long time, pharmacy looked like many other highly skilled professions. Long, irregular hours, specialized knowledge, big gender pay gaps. And then the system shifted. Patient records became digital and centralized, which allowed any pharmacist to step in while another stepped back. Drugs became more standardized and knowledge stopped living just in one person's head. And almost quietly, something remarkable happened. The gender pay gap nearly disappeared. Being present with your family at home stopped costing you your future at work. Dr. Golden now calls pharmacy one of the most egalitarian professions in the country. And what struck me wasn't just that it worked, but why it worked. No one made the industry better for businesses and families by demanding more of the pharmacist. They demanded more of the design. And once those systems and structures shifted, businesses and families didn't have to choose. And the motherhood penalty all but disappeared. Once I saw that pattern, I couldn't unsee it. I saw it in returnship programs, where women and men came back from a career-giving break and thrived. I saw it in workplaces where parental leave wasn't just tolerated, but embraced. But I also saw the cost of getting it wrong. Brilliant women sidelined at their peak, fathers missing moments they can never get back, organizations losing seasoned talent, and families forced into impossible choices that they should have never needed to make. This is not a motherhood problem. This is a design problem. We keep designing jobs as if we aren't whole humans, and then we're surprised when real people struggle inside of those systems. But here's the good news. If it's designed, it can be redesigned. And the people that can build that future, they're sitting right here. So here is my invitation to you. We may have inherited this system, but we keep reinforcing it, and only we can change it. You have more power than you think. Every manager that looks at pharmacy and says, why not here? And then builds these systems and structures to make that real, brings us one step closer to a working world that works better for everyone. Every father that takes the leave he's owed or negotiates for the leave he deserves makes it easier for the next one who asks. Every time you call your member of Congress and tell them what your family actually needs, from paid leave to childcare, you bring us one step closer to the country that we all deserve. These aren't little things. These are the moments where the future gets built. I started this talk by telling you that I am 29, ambitious, and terrified. Standing here now, I'm still 29. I'm still ambitious, but I'm also full of hope. Hope that you and I together can redesign a better world.